Hello everybody, my name is Robert and this is Review Clue, and today we're having a look at this, the Xiaomi Redmi 7A. Now if you've watched my previous video on the Blackview A80 Pro, you'll know that I have a bit of an affinity to seeing how far I can push cheap smartphones. So this one is actually cheaper than the Blackview A80 Pro. It is £79 at the moment on Amazon. And I'm going to chuck a link in the description down below. That is my affiliate link. And if you want to support the channel and you want this phone, then please do consider using that affiliate link. It does help me out a lot. So this phone really did surprise me, but not in the way you might think. The hardware is pretty subpar, but I think its software is where this phone really comes into its own. But without further ado, let's get into this full review and check out the Redmi 7A by Xiaomi. So inside the box you do of course get the phone, but you also get a 5-watt charger and a micro USB cable. This phone isn't USB-C. If you do want to watch the full unboxing of this, then I'll leave it in the description below. And now is a great time as well to say, if you aren't subscribed already, please do so. It helps me out a ton, getting some new videos out to you as quickly as I can. So here are some of those nerdy specs. It has a 5.45-inch IPS LCD display at a resolution of 720 by 1440p. It has a Snapdragon 439 with 2GB of RAM and a 16GB ROM, a 12-megapixel rear-facing camera, a 5-megapixel front-facing camera, and 4,000 mAh battery. Here's some of the weight and also those dimensions. It is a very small and compact phone. On the back you do of course get that camera and that flash, and this lovely little matte finish, which does mean that it's not going to go anywhere. On one side you've got the power and volume rockers. On the top you've got a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the other side you've got that SIM tray, which also has an SD card. And along the bottom that micro USB port, as well as a speaker. So I thought I would do my normal thing of pushing this phone to its limits by playing Call of Duty Mobile. Call of Duty Mobile has become my benchmark really for any budget phone, and much like the Blackview A80 Pro, this can run Call of Duty and it runs at the lowest setting. It is definitely slightly more choppy than I would have expected, but certainly not unplayable. While we're here, we can also see that display. Though the display is a good resolution for its size, I think that IPS LCD panel does make the viewing angles some of the worst I have ever seen on a smartphone. Honestly, unless you're looking at this thing straight on, you're going to have real trouble viewing the display. That speaker as well, as there is only one speaker on it and it is at the bottom of the device, your palm will occasionally kind of mute it, which is a problem. But if you hold it correctly, then you should be fine. And for under £100, I'm very impressed by just how capable it seems to be while playing this game. Moving away from gaming, we do also have those synthetic benchmarks, which scored a lot lower than I expected, even compared to the Blackview. So this is definitely not a powerhouse of a phone, but while you're moving through the UI, you really don't notice it, mainly because of the wonderful skin that Xiaomi seem to put on all their devices. IMUI 11 is one of the most enjoyable experiences I've had on Android in a very long time. It feels smooth, and the feature set that comes with the phone is some of the most compelling and interesting that I've seen, but we'll move into some of their features in a little bit. You can see that out of the box, this came with Android Pie, but we did have some software updates to install, and it was updated to Android 10. We also have all of the security updates, so Xiaomi are very good at supporting their devices for a very long time. We have some security features built into the phone as well. It also cleans up and just manages your phone a little bit, and that's really nice to see on a phone with such little resources to use. There is management in there, especially in the game booster mode. Real quick, here's some YouTube playback as well, so you can hear those lovely speakers that are loud and clear. And you can also see that display in action as well, which again is clear and quite sharp, and the colour reproduction I find is very good as well. As it is only that one speaker, it is unfortunately not going to sound as good as a dual speaker setup. So it is only using that bottom one rather than the earpiece as well that many phones do these days. Though I don't see that as much of an issue, especially not for the price point. Let's go ahead and move into that camera as well. And one thing to point out is when you do get this phone, it is really important to do those updates. Mainly because it has had a big effect on the camera and especially the AI features. So we have a short video mode, a video mode, a photo mode, a fake portrait mode, and pro modes as well. But more importantly, there is AI and even HDR built in. So I'm going to go and take a quick picture here so we can have a look at the quality of the image, and then I've got some other images that I've taken before as well. And we can discuss and see just the quality of these. Now, because you've only got that single 12 megapixel camera, the images appear a lot sharper than that of the A80 Pro. And also, the colours are really natural. There's no real massive amounts of processing on it, which is really nice to see. So next up, we're going to take a look at that front-facing camera, especially with its blur. And this picture really blew me away. The quality of that selfie, I think, is one of the best I've seen, and from a under £100 phone, I was very impressed. Here's a couple more shots with that back-facing camera, one quite close up and one further away. You can see that lack of detail in the further away one, but again, £100. Here's the video, and the video was less than ideal. You would not want to be using the video feature on this. It is very unstable. There's no kind of stabilization built in, and it looks overly sharpened. Here are some of the apps that Xiaomi built in to their device, and a lot of them are actually very, very useful. Like Mi Drop is a way for you to share content without even having internet connection. One of the most impressive features is its ability to split screen the display. So I can have two apps open at once, and this is something that not even the bigger Blackview did. And this is all thanks to the new IMUI 11 that is built with this phone. There's also a memory manager, which is something that you don't normally see, but on the Chinese brands you do get them quite a lot. Here's one of my problems with this phone, and it is simply adverts. Everywhere you go on this phone, you get adverts. And I understand that it was meant to be a cheap phone, but when I want to change to a new theme, I had to watch a long advert before I could even try out that theme. And to me, that put me off. I didn't want to use the themes and everything because I just had to watch adverts all the time. So if there was an ability for me to be able to pay a little bit more to not have those ad experiences, I would definitely take that. But here we are, there's this new skin, and it really shows the versatility of the UI and the whole experience of Android. This is something you wouldn't get with iOS, and something that many other phones don't really do that well. But IMUI seems to have a great theme engine that allows you to really customize the phone and make it your own. So there we have it, guys. The Xiaomi Redmi 7A. I really do think that with this phone, you're not really paying for the hardware. The hardware is incredibly underpowered, but for its price tag is still fairly good. But I think really what you're paying for is the software experience, and it is one of the best that I've had on Android. The customizability of it and its real feature set of being able to run 2 applications at once, having all of this management in there for the lack of resources that it has, is incredibly clever. And I think this is a very good burner phone. This is a kind of phone that you would give to your grandparents or your child's first phone. It's very capable, but it is definitely not powerful. Though, saying that, I think its selfies camera is, again, one of the best that I've played with. Not as good as something like the iPhone, but remember, this is just £79. And one thing I didn't really talk about is the bezels. Now, I am actually a fan of the bezels and how it looks, mainly because I don't really like a teardrop. The teardrop look to me looks a bit funny, especially when consuming content. You kind of have this little cutout in your content. With this kind of design, you don't get that, and actually, it's a little bit of a blast from the past in terms of looks. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this phone down below in the comment section. Also, comment down there, what do you want to see next? Do you enjoy these phone reviews? Do you want to see more of them? Because if you do, I can certainly make more. I've found so many phones that are within this price range, between £100 and £200, that have some really interesting features that I think you guys would really be interested in seeing. Anyway, guys, my name's been Robert. This has been Review Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.